What's up, YouTube fam? Paul Macetta here, and today I'm going to give you 3 tips to making an effective presentation in front of other people. So, tip number 1 is to always have a structure for your presentation. Now look, for some people, this involves getting really deep and intricate and having a title and a presentation and a spreadsheet or a keynote with a million bullets under it where they go, they need every single step of the presentation mapped out for them so that they stay on track and that they are speaking the way that they're supposed to speak and making sure that they're covering every single aspect of the presentation. For others, they need something a little bit looser where maybe they just have some main bullet points that they want to talk about. The answer to that really depends on what type of a person you are and how much information you need, but I think more importantly, it depends on how much you know about the actual topic that you're presenting on. So, for example, when I present on a topic like influence and persuasion and basic human psychology and how those things work, because I've been teaching it for so long, I understand the core key concepts. So all I might need is 5 or 10 big bullet points to talk about, and then I can elaborate on them because I've done it so many different times. But the point is, I still have some sort of a structure in place that I can follow. The second thing that you should be doing is always using visual cues. You see, most people are visually dominant or visually oriented, meaning we all have different ways of processing the world. For some of us, we are more auditory, meaning we make sense of the world by the way we hear things. For some of us, we're more kinesthetic, meaning we make sense of the world based on the way things feel to us. And for many of us, we're more visual, meaning we make sense of the world by the way things look to us. But the reality is, whether or not you're more auditory, kinesthetic, or visual, most people are going to be more visual, period, right? Because we use our minds to construct images in our brains to make sense of the world, right? If I tell you not to think of a pink elephant, what are you going to do? You're going to think of a pink elephant, right? That image is going to ultimately appear in your mind. And so the problem is, a lot of times when we speak to people, we can be very subjective, or we could say things that are very subjective, and people can start constructing their own images or their own visions in their mind for what we're saying. And as a presenter, as an influencer, as a persuader, as a master communicator, you want to always be in control of what those images are. And so the easiest way to do that is to just use the images that you want to project in the minds of others in your presentations. It also makes your presentation a lot more visceral, and it will touch your audience on a much more deeper emotional level. And then last, you always want to have built-in audience cues in your presentations, meaning you want to have elements in the presentation that call out the audience and maybe open up a dialogue with them, or check to see repeatedly if they are understanding what you're saying. Like, one of the worst things that I've seen presenters do is they will go deep on a topic without checking to make sure that the audience understood what they said prior to that. And so what happens is they may wind up saying something that's confusing or unclear to the audience without double checking to make sure they understood it, and then they move on to the next part of a thing that they really want to talk about, but the audience is still trying to figure out what they said 2 minutes before instead of listening to what they're saying now. And so now what happens is they wind up going down a rabbit hole talking about a specific thing or a topic, and the audience isn't paying attention to them. So I know that public speaking sometimes can be nerve-wracking, it can be scary, and you kind of just want to get through it for the sake of getting it behind you and getting past it and getting it over with. But you have to constantly make sure that you're checking in with your listeners to make sure they understand exactly what you are talking about. So look, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, hit that subscribe button and leave me a comment down below. Make sure you click that bell so you get notified when I make more videos like this.